your boy Ruiz Jr. and right now you tune into World Combat Sports.
Falling once again, you're listening to World Combat Sports. What is good, everyone? Salute. For those of you that's pulling up to the live chat, man, you know what it is. Always appreciate your support. Like, share, subscribe. If you're looking at the thumbnail, that's what it is. Let me pull it up for you right quick. It's going to be multiple boxing topics, but, we want to talk on the situation that's going on potentially with Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. Hold on for a second. So what's exactly going on with Tyson Fury is and Anthony Joshua, they're pretty much trying to feed the general public a unification bout. All right. Okay. I'm not blaming them for feeding the boxing public a unification bout. It's just it's going to be so obvious as to the outcome of what's going to happen in this unification. They're implying that the fight may be potentially $100 million for both fighters. And to get that type of money over here in the United States is just tremendously low. I mean, very low on the scale of the percentage, that you would, just take a deep breath on, on the biggest mecca of boxing. Even when we was live with full capacity, it'd be hard for me to fathom if two boxings can make $100 million apiece. So therefore, the word has it that it may be, in the sand again, with a large site fee, and everything. And that's not too far-fetched. But one of the issues I have with the numbers, we all know that when it comes to a fight that Eddie Hearns is going to be a part of, or anything dealing with the UK, they're going to bloviate the numbers. You know what I'm saying? They're going to bloviate the numbers high enough so people, what's going on, Tone? So people can appreciate you tuning in, my brother. Salute. They're going to bloviate the numbers high enough so people can, believe that it's going to be something like astronomical. Like we never seen a fight like this before. It's definitely not going to go down like that in the ring. And plus, it's not going to give you that suspense or shock value that you got when you seen Floyd Mayweather. You found out he was facing Conor McGregor. This is how the two-part series will play out. They're already talking about a potential rematch if this fight goes down with Joshua and Fury. The puzzle piece is there for both of these guys to cement their legacy. It would be so fake if it goes down this way, but they have to do it in a way to bring all the climactic suspense to it and make it seem like it's real. If by chance it's a rematch, which it will be, look at the whole entire. Let's just say Tyson Fury has that WBC belt, and Anthony Joshua is able to do what he's able to do, right? So therefore, let's just say they go over here and fight. Who is going to win the undisputed titles first? Because it can come down to who wants it last. Who is deciding to get these titles last? Both of these guys can become undisputed by playing this freaking game, this UK boxing storybook, fairy tales of building up the UK boxing scene and bringing all this damn attention to it off two fighters. These are the two fighters. You know what I'm saying? If they're able to build up a storyline enough to have Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, one of them win, come undisputed, and then I guess return it back over to Joshua, let him win in a rematch, and he pretty much, both paydays are extensive, and he pretty much becomes the undisputed title holder. He will have became the 3-time unified champion, and he would be currently undisputed until he decided to get off the belts. Right then and there, his legacy would have been cemented. Tyson Fury's legacy, done, over. Tyson Fury, with those 2 paydays, could just leave the sport. He'll be good. Tyson Fury can go off into the sunset. He good. I don't think it's going to be 100 million. You know, like I said before, Eddie Hearns loved bloviating the numbers. I don't think it's going to be 100 million. I think it's going to be as much as they can get it. It may potentially be over 40 million. You know what I'm saying? 50 million. All right. But when it comes down to it, it's a perfect puzzle piece for both of these guys, 2 of the top heavyweights in the sport, to cement their legacy off fights which are predetermined. Yeah, I'm saying it. Fights which are predetermined. Absolutely. If these 2 are able to go over here and fight and put a rematch clause in there and make it just as believable, so people can truly believe that the person who won, they won that shit fair and square, and there's nothing predetermined. Like Anthony Joshua, Andy Ruiz. That was suspenseful. Joshua getting his ass knocked out all over the place, knocked down, and then, you know, acting like he didn't know what the fuck, and then turning back around and fighting the deconditioned Ruiz and end up being 2-time unified champion. Now, 10 years from now, people are going to look back at that and say, oh, Joshua, wow, you know, 2-time unified champion. He went in there and defeated Andy Ruiz in a rematch. Kudos. So the way he fought Andy Ruiz, do you truly believe he can go in there and defeat Fury? Because what they're trying to say is the individuals that had problems like Deontay Wilder and Vladimir Klitschko, they're trying to land power punches on Tyson Fury. So they're basically insinuating that if Joshua goes in there and boxes, boxes Tyson Fury, he will have much more success in that heavyweight bout in beating Tyson Fury if he boxes him. And I'm saying to myself, what the fuck do Fury do? Fury boxes too. Like, when has Joshua's gas tank been respected enough for him to just go in there and box for 12 rounds? And I know some of you are going to say, well, he did Andy Ruiz. Man, come on. Andy Ruiz allowed him to have spacing. He allowed him to dictate the pace. And he really didn't push any effort to basically deplete the gas tank of Anthony Joshua like we've seen in the past. Tyson Fury has everything with the height, the weight, and the ring IQ to go in there and mix it up and make Anthony Joshua uncomfortable, you know, deplete his gas tank and potentially knock him out. There's no way that I see Anthony Joshua defeating Tyson Fury. But if there's a rematch between these 2, I see one of them winning, rematch, and then the other one winning. Either way, they would have both become the heavyweight undisputed titleists. It just all depends on who gets it first. And of course, Tyson Fury has never defended his belt. So I'm looking at this as potentially, once again, Anthony Joshua loses his straps. You know, Tyson Fury goes on a promo tour and all that. I'm the undisputed title. They do all this promo. And then Anthony Joshua give his PR team. They come up with this storyline on how he's going to return better than ever. The decision was controversial. It never should have been that way. Tyson Fury never should have won, but he did. And now they want to see how the fans react to it and everything and bring y'all back to the stadium once again for a rematch. This is for all the marbles, all the crowns. And then somehow, some way, Anthony Joshua comes out the winner. 3-time unified champion. 3-time heavyweight unified champion. Fury goes down as being a 2-time unified champion, right? And undisputed if it goes down that way. So pretty much the UK highlight their their heavyweight division to bring more exposure and money to the you know, just to UK boxing in general. A lot of press. You know what I'm saying? A lot of boxing fans tuning in and giving them that energy. Especially, just say for instance, this fight really happens, right? The promo is going to be extensive. Really, the promo is going to be crazy for Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. Now, don't get it twisted. I'm just doing a little media on Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua because deep down in my heart, you know what I'm saying? Deep down, all the way to the core, I would want Deontay Wilder to come back in here and face Tyson Fury for a trilogy. But as it's looking, and you know what we don't know, we can only speculate. I'm just speaking as media. I'm just putting some info out there as far as what they have out here on some of these dang mainstream medias and what potentially could happen when they're talking about $100 million fight. That's a lot of freaking money. Michael Johnson Boxing talking more. What's good? Said what it do. I'll be in the building. What's good, y'all? That's just my curiosity. How are they going to set up the storybook ending and allow both of these guys to potentially pick up the titles? You know, from my understanding, and if I was to put my finger on it, I would say Anthony Joshua, being his age and his relevance over there in UK, he would be the one once again regaining his titles back if indeed the storybook plays out like that. If the storybook plays out like that, he will be the one to keep the belts. Tyson Fury would have earned 2 paydays and then go off into the sunset. One of the most bogus, predetermined freaking heavyweight fights of all damn new era. And don't say it's impossible. It's very possible because a lot of people, if they can pull it off the right way, stand to make millions. Millions of millions. Yes, indeed. But you just think about that shit. Anthony Yildrim is due to step in there with Canelo Alvarez, right? This weekend. And I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying, man. Nobody cares. I know. I feel you on that shit. But what is Anthony Yildrim's talking about? Yildrim is saying that he's not an underdog. He's coming to win. He has it. He has the much courage as anybody else. People count him out. Yildrim, stop it. You're a 40-1 underdog. Now, if I had any inclination that this is going to turn out like Buster Douglas, Mike Tyson, I would tell everybody. I would tell you right here, right now, put your money on Yildrim. It's about to be a fix. It's about to be an upset. Do it. But there's no way that I look at this with a sound mind and body and say Canelo needs for you to win and then come back for it. It's nowhere in hell that you're going to get that from me, especially when we talking about Yildrim. So let's just cancel that shit out and talk strictly on how acutely delusional Anthony Yildrim has come during this press week. Yildrim is actually trying to convince maybe 2-3 people that he isn't the underdog. Yildrim is up here saying, hey, believe in me. Believe. I come to win. Listen, bro. Listen. I can see if you was coming off a rematch with Chris Eubanks and you end up getting your revenge, all right? And you won that rematch, right? You stayed away from the damn being vulnerable to the uppercuts and you won, right? I can see if you was on a winning streak like that, you know, getting that, running it back with Chris Eubanks, you know, shit like that. But you're going in there right now with Canelo Alvarez, who has his boxing compass set on bigger fights than Anthony Yildrim. Yildrim is trying to tell us that he's a bit perturbed that people are overlooking him. And I'm saying to myself, you should be upset because he is treating you like a speed bump, son. You are a speed bump in this fight. Look, I don't even know if you're a speed bump or not. Seriously, you might just be a white lane in the road, and you change lanes, and Canelo keep on moving. You might not be important enough to be a speed bump. A speed bump has to provide you with a little bit of hesitation. We don't get that from you. Like, you got to hit the brakes and, go over it. It's depending on what vehicle you're in. And when they say Abner Yildrim, you don't put the brakes on. You know what I'm saying? So Yildrim, stop it. Stop sitting up here saying you come to win. You're looking at Canelo Alvarez, man. He's about to pick up another victory. You know what I mean? Eddie Reynoso on fire right now. Seriously, Eddie Reynoso on fire. Oscar Valdez coming off a knockout. And Canelo Alvarez is about to also. It's just a week in between the mass murder. You know what I'm saying? It's only a week in between the homicide, the pending homicide that's about to happen. That's all it is. You can't put them all together because it's just too much legwork. We don't want to, put suspicion and speculation out there to the public that, it's a lot of violence that's going on. But Reynoso right now, he has a lot of violence going on right now. Oscar Valdez just flatlined Burchelt. And you know what? Canelo's about to flatline you, Abney. That's real talk. He's about to go in there and stop you. I don't see Canelo Alvarez there, Mr. Yildrim, giving you that Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. love. I don't see that. I don't see him carrying you to the final bell and say, hey, muchas gracias, amigo. See, kept my word. I didn't punish you as much. I respect you as a sparring. No, he's going to treat you like a sparring partner, and he's going to knock your ass out. Because the less damage he take, the more prepared he's going to be for Billy Joe Saunders, and then moving on to potentially a fight at the end of the year with Caleb Plant. I basically put a picture up here of Abner Yildrim with his hand in the air because that's the closest he's going to come to beating Canelo Alvarez. Period. I'm being honest. I'm being honest with you. I put a picture up there because, you know what I'm saying? It's about to be, Wednesday tomorrow, and we're getting a day closer. I don't want Abner Yildrim to believe that nobody's paying attention to him, and people like myself, we are. So I'm saying to myself, why don't I put a picture up here with his hand in the air, because that's the only victory he's going to see this week. Period. King Mitch in the building. Salute to you. Big Dog, what's good? Salute WCS, everything boxing and sports. What's good? What's good, Keon? How you feel, man? Y'all be sure to subscribe to man Keon, everything boxing and sports. Lighten it up. 24. Yeah, White Lane. Canelo. Oh, okay, 10,000 favorite for real, man. Hey, look, I really don't know what's going on with people not, telling Yildrim. The more individuals tell Yildrim that he's motherfucking delusional, as if he has just a small hair follicle. I'm talking about a hair follicle chance. Does Abner Yildrim have a chance of a hair follicle to beat Canelo Alvarez? I don't think so. I don't think so, man. Does he have the tip of a butterfly's wing? Does he have something? Does he have something to that nature? Because this right here is just a promissory note fight. That's all. He's going to step through the ropes. They're going to move around. Canelo knows who he is. From my understanding, he respects the dude. But, I would be surprised if Canelo Alvarez carried Yildrim until the 12th. I'll be highly surprised when he has a fight already scheduled with Billy Joe Saunders in May. I think Yildrim understands what the end state is. My friend, we're going to move around for a little bit, and you're going to catch the punch. It's going to be another uppercut, just like Chris Eubanks, but a lot more accurate and it's going to be some mustard, relish, hot sauce, everything. We got to sell it to the fans, okay? All right? I'm not going to do anything, but you know when it's coming because I'm going to go to the body first, and then I'm going to come up the middle with the uppercut, and you take it as you may. All right? Now, if by chance you get up from the uppercut, it's on. It's personal. I'm telling you what the finishing move is. I'm going to hit you with the body, hook to the body, come up with the uppercut, and you're going to drop, and that's game over. You counted out by the referee. Don't play with me. Okay, Abney? That's pretty much how the conversation is going to go. He's a 40-1. Like Keon said, he's motherfucking 10,000. He a 1,000,000-to-1 favorite, goddammit. Ain't no way he coming up out this bitch with an upset. Andrew Charles in the building. What's good? Mitch said, I already know the results of Canelo next fight. I just hope the guy shows up and fights, unlike Callum Smith. Man, you know, I can't even put Abner Yildrim in the conversation with Callum Smith, though. I cannot put Yildrim nowhere close to anything except this photo I have on here. You know, I that's the only thing I can put him in there with, man. Like I said before, if he was coming off knocking out Chris Eubanks and he was on this tear, and us as boxing fans, we can look at it and say, damn, Yildrim, he on this shit right now. We need to pay attention to this dude. Okay. But nobody, look, I guarantee we can go to the bar right now, you know, and get and drink number shots and feel pretty nice and fucked up. And then ask the question and say, hey, who think Yildrim has a chance? Somebody might get cracked upside the head with a bottle. Just for taking away the buzz that has already been established. I'm talking about the liquid. I'm just exaggerating. I'm just saying, like, nobody that's really fucked up, right? And you ask the question, hey, how many of y'all think Yildrim's gonna pull this shit off this weekend? Show of hands, yeah. You might get cracked upside the head with a bar stool. Just for being stupid. I'm not paying no money for people who don't have, you know, the zone or whatever. If you choose to go up here and support it, cool. But we already know the outcome, like Mitch said. We already know the outcome. All of us know the outcome. It's nothing changing. We know the outcome, baby. That's what it is. Done. It ain't no surprises. He ain't got a picogram chance. God damn. I hear you. He don't even have a picogram chance, man. If he had maybe 10 picograms, would that do it? If he had 10 picograms in there, would that take him to the 10th round? Give him a picogram per round. With 10 picograms, one per round, would that take him to the 10th, man? I don't know, man. It's no way that I can even give him anything. Sir, seeing you in the building. What's good? What's good? I just, you know, I really never talked about this fight, man, because, you know, with me, it's certain things that don't interest me, but I find out I should talk about it a bit more. You know what I'm saying? Like, I rarely talk about Joshua. The only time I really talk about Tyson Fury is getting this rematch with Wilder. Because I criticized Joshua from day numero uno. Like, the time people started boosting his head up, and he was this incredible fighter. You know what I'm saying? I was saying he was robotic. This is when he was undefeated. He was robotic. He had a suspect chin. He had a suspect gas tank too. But now they're talking about going back over to Saudi and trying to convince us that these fighters are getting 100 mil a piece. I find that hard to believe, even with all that liquid money over there in Saudi. I find it hard to believe. And they're trying to say the rematch that Anthony Joshua attended in the sand, he was paid over 40 million. Now listen to me, because I enjoy language, right? When Eddie Hearn say 40 million, but he's trying to convince y'all that it was close to 100. You know what I'm saying? See, this how they start off building up fights. It happens all the time with Eddie Hearns. This is what he loves to do. He loves to exaggerate numbers. Eddie Hearns will sit up there and tell you, like for instance, they just brought up the Forbes. They was trying to say that Anthony Joshua's net worth is over 100 million. And anybody who's following me, right? I really don't get into what people are making. I just don't care. I really don't care unless it comes down to negotiation, like, you know, Spence and Crawford and all this other bullshit, right? But Forbes was saying he was over. They was trying to say that he was over 100 million, but Forbes was saying his net worth was just at 45 to 50 million. And the UK was saying, oh, that's way off. That's way up. No, that's about right. And then they went on to say something like Joshua, he earned over 40 million in his rematch with Andy Ruiz. 40 million is not 100 million, shawty. Like, come on, man. You got to pay taxes on that shit. You got to pay your people. Eddie Hearns got to get his 30, 35, 40%. Why we keep on one of the only fighters that I know in boxing when it comes to money. Now exclude Canelo Alvarez. We're taking this strictly to the heavyweight division. When it comes to money, the way that they're exemplified in the media, you know, amongst their fans, almost to exalt them in front of their fans, is Anthony Joshua. Eddie Hearns, he's been boosting this. When him and Deontay Wilder was negotiating, they boost up the motherfucking numbers on Anthony Joshua and act like he was getting 35. Every time you hear one of his damn fans say, oh, Anthony Joshua, he's selling out stadiums. He's making 40, 50, 60 million. The price just keep going up. And he wasn't. So now that this fight is out there and they're attaching 100 million per, you know, they're trying to say that Anthony Joshua net worth is over 100 million. So him getting 100 million is right where he need to be. He's now worth 100 million. He's $100 million man, y'all. They're trying to convince us that Joshua, who is the last person Joshua faced? They're trying to convince us Anthony Joshua is $100 million man. And there's some people out there that will absolutely digest all of that and fight you tooth and nail to say, yeah, he is. And I'm saying to myself, like, how do you know? I just do, because I look at him. I look how he's built, his physique. I look at the clothes he dressed. I look at the pictures he take. You got motherfuckers that's really out here trying to live vicariously through Anthony Joshua. They'll tell you, no, he's worth 100 million. And once again, I say, so how do you come up with that? You know, what criteria are you basing that off of? You know, he's in the UK. He be selling out stadiums. Like, what stadium did he sell out? He sold out Wembley plenty of times. I say, no, he didn't. He sold out Wembley when he fought Vladimir Klitschko. You know what I'm saying? Vladimir helped him sell out Wembley. All right, now the UK fan base is just that. They're gonna pack it in, okay? But don't sit up here and keep on lying that Anthony Joshua is doing this by himself. I mean, if you look at him losing his title and then regaining, his performance wasn't all that with Andy Ruiz. I really wish he would have faced Jarrell Miller. If Jarrell could have remained, you know, away from those picograms, because goddamn it, Keon, he mentioned picograms and shit, but we have to increase that motherfucking title when it comes to Jarrell Miller. Shit, goddamn, Jarrell Miller, his dosage is much higher than picograms. We have to start goddamn assuming Jarrell Miller's shit is in volume. Goddamn motherfucker. Shit, Jarrell Miller shit is like liquid volume. How dirty he was in, you know, he was doing like multiple. But anyway, people tend to lean heavy on Anthony Joshua whenever numbers come up. And Eddie Hearns is doing that shit again. They're trying to sell this fight to the masses and saying that Joshua's $100 million man right now. Being that you have taxes, if Joshua made 40 million in Saudi Arabia, he that was taxed too. That was taxed. But that doesn't mean that 40 million was close to 100 million. Come on, you're treating somebody like they're stupid. In the conversation of him being $100 million man, you say that he made over 40 million in his rematch with Ruiz. So over 40 million, a sound mind would say, well, what he make 45 million? What are we looking at? 46? You don't say, well, he made 40 million in his rematch against Ruiz, but yet rumor has it that it was close to at least about 99.8. That's not how it goes, man. You're just playing around. But mark my word, I'm confident in saying this, that somehow, some way, they're going to come up with a master plan for both of these guys to walk up out of here with these legacies that zoom in to the UK boxing, to the put the UK on this motherfucking ridge line so everybody can, see them, put them in the boxing stratosphere. Because if they can pull this off correctly with 2-fight deal, they can do a 1-1. That's all they're gonna need. Both of them will be able to pick up the titles and add another notch to their legacy. But yet the one who holds on to it in on the backside with a rematch, in my assumption, would be Anthony Joshua. Because in the UK he's big. So could you imagine Anthony Joshua solidifying his presence as a heavyweight unified undisputed champion? That will boost up his future earnings in the sport. And it would be great that, if Deontay Wilder gets the shot while he's undisputed, but I highly doubt it. I think at that time, if Anthony Joshua does win back his belts in the rematch, if it goes down that way, I think he'll fragment the belts, man. So he won't have to fight his mandatories, because his swan song is going to be that he was a damn 3-time unified champion and he was undisputed. So therefore, it's going to put all the halo. It's going to put a bright halo on the UK boxing. Period. They're maneuvering right in front of us. This has been in the works for quite some time. They just needed to get that. And you know what? I can't even tell you. I said it a long time ago, but I did. You know what I'm saying? I can't even tell you what live is on. I say if they can find a way for a UK fighter to scoop the WBC belt from Deontay Wilder, that is the piece that they're looking for. Because once they have that WBC puzzle piece, that is the knight on the chessboard to match everything else up to this heavyweight unification bout. And that's exactly what happened. I couldn't tell you when it was going to happen or any of that. But every time, look at my earlier lives. Every time I criticized Joshua, I said, he will not face Deontay Wilder. He's going to wait and hope that someone else pick up the WBC belt. And it happened. Well, I'm telling you, Joshua had no intentions of fighting Deontay Wilder while he was champion. He was just allowing his people to work to try to get this belt. And sure enough, when it came down to Tyson Fury fighting Deontay Wilder, that's when Anthony Joshua was like, hey, man, I help you train, mate. Yeah. If you need some work, man, I'll help you. He was showing his true colors then. He was rooting for Tyson Fury because he knew if they had an all UK for the undisputed, then they can manipulate the solidification of both of their legacies. They can hit the fans up for a 2-fight deal. It don't matter how it play out. It just has to be believable. It has to be like the Andy Ruiz and Anthony Joshua when they first fought. Now we have to have suspense with Tyson Fury. So people looking at this like, it's no way that we're going to automatically say that Tyson Fury goes in there and loses against Anthony Joshua. He's just a better boxer, ring IQ. But if they can get 2 fights, for a heavy load of money, and they can convince the fans that the first one, was somewhat like Andy Ruiz and Anthony Joshua, and take you through a whirlwind of climax, then they can return back for a rematch, and Anthony Joshua will get his belts back along with the WBC. I might be totally off. Seriously. But when it comes to the UK and Eddie Hearns, that's how you have to think. You have to use this extreme psychosomatic imagine. I'm telling you, your shit got to be deep. You gotta really dig into the receptors and all that shit. You gotta channel the endorphins. You gotta goddamn just put yourself in a state of euphoria when it comes to imagination. You gotta think of shit as if you're hooked up in the Avatar or something, like you in the Matrix. Because that's the shit they be trying to come up with right now. They need a boost over there in the UK when it comes to boxing. And the only people right now that's going to give you that boost is Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua over in the UK. Watch. We're changing levels. Let me see. Hold on for a second. If Yildrim performs well, he's in line for all the guys who are hoping for Canelo sweepstakes. Mitch, stop. Just stop it. Stop it. I know it's the last week of Black History Month, goddammit, but hey, stop it. Stop with the comedian stand-up comedy. Stop. We're changing levels, heading towards Hebo LaShawn Suleiman voice. Oh, evolution. We're heading towards evolution. That's a good one, bro. That's a good one right there. It's discussing how undisputed means the world now, that if Fury Joshua, like Wilder, wasn't trying to make the fight 3 or 4 years ago. True. Deontay Wilder was trying to make this fight. He was absolutely trying to make that undisputed fight. Real talk. And a whole lot of things went down that people are just forgiving. They're just forgiving Joshua for. They're look, it's like a big ass kid making a mistake. You know what I'm saying? It's like you have this kid that's spoiled and shit, right? And come to find out he's been harassing people online, but when they find out it's him, they say, oh, he's just a little kid. He really didn't have permission to be there. You know what I'm saying? Give him a break. That's just like Anthony Joshua when he jumped online and said, give me 50 million, I'll fight tomorrow. Yeah. Okay. The only thing he had to do is, you get the 50 million, you fight in the States before the end of the year. That's all you got to do, Joshua. And that shit played out wrong. Joshua didn't have permission to make those decisions. You know what I'm saying? They had this weird 2-fight Wembley deal in store for Joshua, which he only used one of the two. And that was to fight Alexander Povetkin September 22nd. That didn't sell out Wembley. You feel me? And then they come up talking about, oh, we just signed Joshua to this multi-million-dollar deal. So to cease all the talk with Deontay Wilder, they came over here and said, the WBA has issued a mandatory that has to be signed off in a week, or else Anthony Joshua is stripped of his title. The week came and went, nothing. But what it did was spoil the talks between Deontay Wilder and kind of put the emphasis on, oh, all of a sudden, Anthony Joshua has to cease talks about this fight because all of a sudden, he has an imminent WBA mandatory. If he doesn't fight, if he doesn't get this signed off, he's going to be stripped. And that was just bullshit. So now I'm coming around. You still have these people in these groups, man. I swear to you, man. My energy's never changed on Joshua. Like, Joshua is the biggest hype job. You can take a fighter, right, and adore that fighter and talk so graciously about him, and then he never comes over to the U.S. to fight. Like, we criticize the lighter weight classes for stepping in. I did it myself, for stepping in the ring, and they had me fight in the U.S. Why is that not something Joshua can be criticized for? Because when he did come over here, he lost. Where was the rematch? The rematch wasn't here on U.S. grounds. And people come up here and say that Anthony Joshua is freaking one of those fighters that's glorified over here in the U.S. Bullshit. This man ain't glorified over here. He was never glorified. The only way that Anthony Joshua could be glorified over here in the boxing community of the U.S. is that he comes over here like Tyson Fury and he fights tough fights. That's why Tyson Fury is more of a boxing entity to his fans than Anthony Joshua ever will be. Because see, Anthony Joshua doesn't have the heart to come over here like Tyson Fury. He doesn't. Anthony Joshua, he can change that all in one day. Just come over here and face Deontay Wilder in the States. That's it. Just come over here and face Deontay Wilder in the States. That's all you got to do. And then people stop. But when it comes down to it right now in his career, Anthony Joshua, how many times have he fought over here in the U.S. that you can think of consistently? So when his career has come to a halt and he's about to hang up the gloves, I hope by then he has came over here and fought some other fights, or else he should face the criticism too. He is going to face the criticism. They're going to say, man, yeah, Joshua may have been 2-3-time unified champion, but they're going to give him the same criticism they give Chris Eubanks Sr. Guaranteed. Big Baby had kilograms. Oh, shit. They said Big Baby had kilograms in his system. Damn. I just find it interesting that Eddie has connections in the Arabian Peninsula that can throw a lot of cash at a fight if they really want to see it. That's going to have an impact on the sport. I don't find it. You know, I find it something. You know, Eddie is a businessman, and him and his pops Barry has been around for quite some time. So for him to have that pull over there, yeah, I can believe it. I can believe it. And you know, what better way to find a loophole? Look how smart it is. You know what I'm saying? We over here struggling. Boxing is motherfucking in a damn empty toilet over this bitch. You know when you walk up on the empty toilet and it has nothing like dried up shit in it, right? That's the way boxing was looking during the pandemic. Like shit, like where are we gonna source another? Oh, we can't have no boxing matches. The pandemic, COVID-19. We can't do anything. And then you have this like, oh, we can go over there. Do they have the same thing over there in Saudi? Do they have that over there? And then it comes down to a point of travel restrictions. But before that, they was like, okay, let's do it over here. What better way to find a loophole than to go over there where they have that liquid money and an enormous site fee? You know, they're willing to host shit. You know, they'll host a motherfucking boxing match and bring attention over there. They have no problem with it because it doesn't happen on a regular. So how smart is Eddie Hearns to do something like that? Cool. And that's smart. I mean, that's Eddie. But I still think he's a liar. Truly. I know a lot of people kiss his ass when they see him, but I've heard Eddie lie so much. Fury versus Joshua is a big fight, though. I can see the potential to be snooze fest, though. You heard it here first. I think the second one, if they can reel the fight fans in again for a rematch, if they can set it up just right, like I said, they can solidify two sides. You know what I'm saying? Both sides. They can solidify legacies. Tyson Fury has already been unified champion before, and we all know what happened, cheetah and all this other shit. And then now he's the WBC champion. If he finally is able to defend his title and become undisputed, that will solidify his legacy, becoming undisputed. And then turn back around full circle in a rematch, and Joshua avenges a rematch once again, and how much notoriety that brings to the boxing masses over there in the UK. I'm just saying that's far fetched, but it's possible. Focus might squeeze out a trilogy on us. Poor boxing fan. I don't think so. I don't think they'll pull out a trilogy because the fans, at the end of the day, the fans are still smart. You gotta give them their credit. The fans are gonna be like, okay, some of this shit is not adding up. So you're saying we can get a trilogy between Fury and Joshua, but we cannot get a trilogy between Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury? I mean, can boxing be fucked up like that? Absolutely. Because once the train get going, and if they put on a better, good enough performance for the fight fans, they'll return for the rematch. And if that shows, if it shows to be entertaining enough, that's as far as I can go. I can't see a trilogy going on. I can't see a trilogy going on without some shit happening in between, like mandatories and all this other shit. That's just me. Everything Box said Miller was on kilograms. Yeah, man, Miller had the bricks, the liquid bricks in his system. For real. And he did it to himself. Just sent Celtics back to Boston. Let me see. Big Baby was sweating juice. What's going on, Trick? Just got in here. What's good with you? WCS, what's good? What's good, Trick? Salute to you, man. Chats, what's good? Yeah, we're just talking about the potential, 100 million. I've been on it for quite some time, and it's time to abort mission because I'm disappointed that a lot more media is coming out. I'm not giving up on the situation with Deontay Wilder, potentially being in the trilogy. It's just the fact I don't know. Seriously, I truly don't know what's going on with it. It's no scheduled fights right now, and I'm not jettisoning the fact that it's still ongoing. But what I'm doing is just speaking about something else. Just because it's out here on the surface, I'm just speaking about it. That's it. It was a long time where I wouldn't speak on something I didn't believe in. But on this media shit, a lot of people speak on shit they don't believe. And the fans be tuned into, yep, I'm like, I wouldn't do it. But I started to just speak on media shit that and I may not agree with it, but it might be a hot topic that people just want to hear what you got to say about it. Like Teofimo Lopez. The whole situation, has been going on and on. I know Teofimo has his lovers, the people that love Teofimo, support him, and then they have the haters. I'll take that back. Not the haters, but the ones who are not his fans. So right now, they're trying to do a purse bid on Teofimo Lopez. Now, what I have to commend him on is the way he was negotiating Vasyl Lomachenko for his worth, right? And as you heard me speak to David McWhorter, they was attempting to go for more money than what Teofimo actually received to fight Vasyl Lomachenko. So I said, all right, cool. Teofimo is setting the standard. He's saying, you know what? I'm going to do it the same for Kambosos. I don't give a damn what y'all think about him as an opponent. Y'all may think he's subpar. I'm still going to negotiate. And that's what he's doing. And that's why you have people going to purse bid, because Teofimo is basically saying, you know what? I don't want the minimum that Top Rank is giving me. I don't want it. I want more. Now, who am I to tell people to peep game? Who am I? Because if you're a boxer and you're not understanding what he has going on, then good luck when you get in your career and find out, damn, I thought I was making money, but I wasn't. It has to start somewhere. And once you start making people aware of your worth, you have to stay with it. And that's what Teofimo is doing. Now he's going in here negotiating. Look, he's trying to get $5 million for Kambosos. Dude, Let's just say he get 4. Is it closer to 5? Is it more than what he made for Sil Lomachenko? Absolutely. Should we be mad? Come on now. Should we be mad at this particular stanza where he's negotiating? So we know Kambosos is, undefeated. He's the IBF mandatory. We got it. And this might be a tougher fight than what people are giving credit for. But ultimately, people need to understand that what he's doing consistently, Teofimo Lopez, is negotiating his worth. Now, a lot of us may say, okay, well, he ain't worth that because he ain't made that. Then how do you even get yourself up there to the price point to be looked at and identified as a $3 million man, a $4 million man? You start pressing, you know what I'm saying? You start demanding. If your performances are adding up to what you're trying to negotiate and you're building up your Wall Street as a brand, well, hey, pretty much you might have your way just a little bit. You might have a little bit of opportunity to finagle your way with them zeros and get close to what you want. It's other people out here doing the same thing, unless they want you to believe they're doing the same thing. But what we do know with this fight going to a purse bid is that they holding strong, man. I know a lot of people saying that he's being egotistical, selfish, greedy. Listen, boxing don't have no damn retirement plan. I understand that. Boxing never had no retirement plan, y'all. You know how many boxers come back to the sport once they left the sport and they really never did anything or made enough to invest, or they was living outside their means as a boxer? If you start a family as a boxer, that's another responsibility that you have. On top of your family coming there to see you fight, people think you live in a certain lifestyle and everything, so you might yourself go up here and purchase a nice house, car, and all that. But yet, when you get near the end of your career, do you have any type of business that provides your residual income to continue that lifestyle? Not only that, allow your business and brand to grow outside the sport of boxing. So like Roy Jones Jr. Like Roy Jones Jr., man, people still flock and gravitate to him when they see him. You know what I'm saying? They do, man. He has a gym in Russia. He's training some Russian fighters. Last time I talked to him, I think he said he had like 5 or 6 Russian fighters, man, that was in his stable over there. He has a gym along with his citizenship in Russia. When he does guest appearance, he ain't paying for shit. Roy Jones is not showing up for anything that, like, okay, this is what I got to damn turn in to my CFO so he can deduct that out. Nope. If they call him for a guest appearance, they paying for it. And that's how you got to make your name out here. So get with it. Pay attention to what Teofimo Lopez is doing and some other fighters. Canelo Alvarez, the same thing. Canelo Alvarez is making sure that he make as much money as possible so he can live very, very lavish and comfortable once it's time for him to say sayonara. You know what I'm saying? Hasta mañana. I'm out. See you tomorrow on the beach. I work nights, so I get in the night lives a little late, but I be listening. I appreciate you. Teo should be trying to get all he can. Aaron been shorting fighters longer than we have been alive. Check the box on that. Aaron is an OG in the game. And yes, true words. He's been doing what he wanted to do. But this is the stance I take with Teofimo Lopez is the fact that he has like over 3 years left with top rank. So within that 3 years, To be honest with you, and I'm not saying this with any type of maliciousness, you know what I'm saying? But we don't know if Bob Aaron's going to be alive those full 3 years that he has remained on his contract. So at this point in time, what he's doing is just establishing. You know what I'm saying? He's digging his fighting hole, and he's letting people know that's what he's willing to do for his fights. And if anybody chooses to step up there to Teofimo Lopez, they know it's not going to be, we're going to get over on him. You're not going to get over on him, man. I know people hate to hear this shit, but stop worrying about him capping. Man, we got motherfuckers capping all over in the lightweight division. Capping ain't got shit to do with anything. Boxers do that shit all the time. They say they're going to fight somebody and then they don't. We see that all over the place. From a lot of fighters, we see that shit. Just like, for instance, I'm going to show you a perfect example of capping. Didn't Oscar Valdez, who I went for, didn't Oscar Valdez say he was going to fight Gervonta Davis? And now he's trying to call out a common opponent, Miguel Burchelt, done defeated twice. Huh? Is that not capping? These fighters will say anything just to keep the momentum going once the fight is over with. Did not Ryan Garcia say, Gervonta, basically, you would taint your entire legacy if you don't fight me, and come to find out he was just motherfucking capping. So y'all need to just release the, like you have an obligation to hold people accountable, like it's like boxing game deals with morals and principles. It don't. You in there with a bunch of individuals from all walks of life. So fuck it. Stop worrying about what they're saying. But worry about this. Worry about him getting past Kambosos and see who he fights next. I know a lot of people talk about him fighting Devin Haney. I want to see him fight Devin Haney if he chooses to stay down there. But Teofimo told me when I interviewed him that he was going to stay at 135 forever. This is how I say don't worry about what the fuck they talking about until it become official. He said, I'm going to stay at 135 forever. And then I hear him on another podcast, and he's saying, well, we don't have that many fights down here, 135. We want that fight at 140. I say, bro, they don't care. Seriously, they don't care, bro. These fighters don't care. They'll feed media anything that you want in any given time to take it on the storyline. They just sit back and laugh. Serious. That's what they do, man. A perfect thing that was said. It's a perfect response that was said by Samuels. On the Boxing Voice I was looking at today, and Samuels was going back, with Bill Haney about this, the Javier Fortuna shit and Jorge Linares and his 50. I knew that 50,000 crap was just a bunch of, hype. They ain't putting up no damn 50,000 for no damn fight because the fight wasn't even made or none of that shit. But anyway, Samuelson said, what is truth? He said this about the YTC. He said, you all will listen to a whole lot of anything, but very little of it is fact. He was saying, just like I was saying, it's no such thing as no YTBC. He said that you all will listen to a lot of everything. A lot of, we'll just be fed anything, but very little of it's true. And he was absolutely right. It's a lot of information that comes over in the YTC that we look at and we talk about, but it's not based off facts. It's just based off what, the source from which it came from and what's in the source. So let's just say we heard something about important figure. Let's just say it's Deontay Wilder and basically it's dealing with arbitration. It can be one person that mentioned on Twitter. Let's say it's Mike Carpenter. It might not be all the way true. You have to read the language. and people run with it. They screenshotted everything. And then Mike Carpenter came up there and said, I never said that Deontay Wilder won his arbitration. What I said was the arbitration is looking in favor of Deontay Wilder. I never said he won the arbitration. I just said look in favor of Deontay Wilder. If you say in favor of, it doesn't commit to the conclusion. It doesn't say, yeah, he's won. It's looking in favor of. That means the possibility is there. And we all know what possibility is. It's just speculation, assumptions, insinuations. That's it. Mitch said contradicted is part of the rope they string fans along with. Every day. Every day. They string us along the YTC. And a lot of this shit is not factual. Just like when Teofimo said, I'm going to throw contracts Gambosa's way and Devin Haney way. Well, guess what? He never said that he sent the contracts. But people was on here saying, oh, Teofimo, he said he had sent the contract to Devin Haney, but he didn't say. And I'm saying he never said that he sent the contracts. He said he's going to throw. So when does a fighter basically send contracts anyway? And if a fighter said they're going to throw, that's just the overlay for saying, yeah, I get around to it. That's my intentions. I'm going to throw some money over here. I'm going to throw some money over there. That doesn't mean they're going to give any money. They're just saying, okay, you asking yourself, okay, you said you're going to throw some money my way. And you like, did I say I was going to give you some money? Did I commit to how much I was going to give you? I just said I was going to throw some money your way. I didn't tell you when. I didn't tell you an amount. That's how you got to treat this YTC shit when you're media and you're covering. But listen, but check this out. I've found out over time that it's basically, how you put it, it's useless to think that heavy, you know what I'm saying, into what you believe is right. Not on this YTC shit. Just keep it as a lot of shit that's that's without facts, and people report on it. That's just the way it is. Don't try to read too deep into it. People will make thumbnails on shit that's not factual every day, and people will tune in and say, wow, unbelievable. I can't believe this is happening. And then some more shit come out that supersedes what they spoke about maybe 2 or 3 days earlier. And then those same people come in here and say, oh, okay, so it's not happening now. Oh, all right, okay. Now this is the new layer. Okay. Man, that's how it works out here. You can come out one day with something and it be absolutely butt-ass wrong, right? And then come back 2 or 3 days later, and it's a small percentage of people that'll question you on it. Because videos keep on in circulation. You keep on circulating. So if you build up a fan base to tune in to you while you're going live, most of the time, those people that's tuning into your live, they don't replay your lives, twice over. They might replay it once to catch it, but they don't replay it twice over and take little bits and pieces, screen record, so they can kind of know what you're saying. They're not taking bits and pieces like that. Owls of what's going on, bro? Salute to you. Speaking facts, my brother. That's just the way I feel about this Teofimo deal. Like, y'all can't say that, I'm not keeping it, balanced on both sides. Like, Teofimo, he fights his freaking mandatory. Guess what? People are going to be calling for what's next. Period. We don't know what's next. I look at boxing like I've always looked at boxing. Even myself. I look at have I did enough? Like, for promotion, I always wanted to ensure that I did enough to get promoted to the next ring. And even then, you got motherfuckers that's stabbing you in the back and shit. So this is a cutthroat type of sport too. But the one thing that people need to understand that when you have the crowns and you're making the calls in this day and time with the pandemic the way it is, you think people are going to make reckless decisions just because the fans are out here saying, hey, you should fight this person next? It's not going to happen, people. They're going to fight who the hell they want to fight. We're going to be disappointed a lot. Just like we're disappointed with the welterweight division. Just like we really don't know what Terrence Crawford is going to do next. Just like we hear Manny Pacquiao 1 minute and the next minute we don't. Just like we're waiting for the Deontay Wilder Tyson Fury situation to resolve itself. We're curious to know what else is going to take place in the 130-pound division. Is Valdez is going to take a Shakur Stevenson, or he's going to fight a common opponent in Burchell? We really don't know what the fuck is going on. We still curious on what's going to happen with Gary Russell Jr. When the next time he's fighting, we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen in 140, especially if they come up with an undisputed. Are they, whoever the winner is, whether it be Ramirez or Taylor, are they truly going to turn around and fight a tough money fight for Teofimo Lopez? Because we've heard Ramirez say he's moving up to 47. So let's just say Ramirez wins. He has provided another opportunity before moving up to 47 to make a big paycheck with Teofimo Lopez. If by chance that is the case, do you believe it might happen? I mean, he say he's planning to go up to 47, but will he stay at 140 just one more fight if it's Teofimo Lopez he's trying to pass the torch to for a nice little lucrative paycheck? It happens in boxing all the time. So you have to understand, like, this is a chess game at this point with the pandemic. Every move you make is absolutely important. You have to maintain the juice as long as possible. You have to maintain the juice. You don't want to be reckless and lose all your power and people looking at you like you crazy. Now, this is how vindictive it can get at the lightweight division. Just imagine this happens with Teofimo Lopez, right? So him having all the belts right now, right? Besides the WBC world, right? So check this out. What if after Kambosos, he just say, well, I'm going to decide to do this. Let's just say he has a mandatory coming up anywhere. You know, I'm just, anything can happen. What if he allows that belt to go down and he loses it because he said, okay, it's not going to hurt me one way or the other. And then he goes over here and fight Devin Haney. Devin Haney only get the belts that he's in possession of. So we have to stand by and wait and see if Mauricio Suleiman is going to transfer the franchise belt to the first black fighter. That's still the curiosity right now. Is Mauricio Suleiman, is he going to transfer the belt to a black fighter? Seriously. I mean, don't get mad at me bringing it up. That's something we have to question ourselves, because it's been to Canelo, Vasyl Lomachenko, and now Teofimo Lopez. But it's never been basically presented to a black champion as of yet. He said not Gary Russell Jr. because he only fight once a year. So therefore, just say, for instance, Teofimo Lopez and Devin Haney fight. Will it be the same accommodation with the WBC franchise being transferable? Now, if that is not the case, then it's going to be a huge problem, because a lot of people already call Mauricio Suleiman very corrupt right now anyway for what he's doing business, right? So if by chance he does not present, let's say, for instance, you get the same energy that he gave Vasyl Lomachenko when he said, hey, I'm not going to abuse anything. I'm not going to force him to fight any one of those fighters beneath him. We're not going to do an eliminator. You're just gonna fight for an interim title, and that's where it's gonna be. And Vasyl Lomachenko is not fighting for the rest of the year. I'm not gonna force him to have a mandatory. That's Mauricio. So okay, he's already proven that he don't give a fuck about, what should be standard. He don't give a fuck about standard. He's going away from tradition to evolution. So with evolution, he's telling you, I'm gonna make the decisions how I make them. So what if he don't transfer the damn WBC franchise and he don't put it as a clause if Teofimo Lopez faced Devin Haney? How are y'all gonna look at this now? Because it's mandatory. You could not say that, okay, let's say he drops the WBO, right? He got mandatory. He said, I ain't gonna face the WBO, whatever. I'm just gonna go over here and fight Devin Haney for. Still, he's depriving Devin Haney from becoming undisputed, right? But within that is the WBC as a whole. So two things that happen. He's gonna say, well, Devin Haney has the WBC title already. He don't need the franchise belt. Because Teofimo did not have the WBC title when he fought for it. He didn't. Vasyl had won it, never defended it, and then he was elevated to the franchise belt, right? So in this particular case, how does it work? What benefit is he going to provide when it comes to the franchise belt being transferred? I think, I'm going to tell you, I think he's going to say some shit like, there's no need to transfer the franchise belt because Devin Haney already has the WBC title. So basically, he's going to keep it. He's going to allow there to be a restriction without it even being a restriction. He's going to say, why? Because the franchise belt is not for a fighter to have both. Listen to what I'm telling you. He's going to say, so why should it be a transferable in this if he wins when no other franchise champion has held both titles? So therefore, he will become franchise belt, but yet he will be without the WBC belt. Now that is something that you need to think about. How would that play out? If he wins, he becomes franchise champion, but yet he doesn't have his WBC belt no more. So therefore, he becomes a franchise champion, right? This just me brainstorming and shit, right? He has the franchise belt. He has the WBA belt, the IBF belt, right? And he's missing the WBO. So is he truly undisputed if he goes over there? I'm talking about Devin Haney. He goes over there and fight for the WBO title. Do you not see how fucked up this is? Can be, really? This could be truly fucked up. No one has spoken in how malicious this could be if Team Lopez decide to do it that way. Don't say nobody, don't say somebody else has talked about it. It hasn't. But really, if you really want to think about how the so-called protocol has played out for the franchise belt and what we talk about with Teo, people saying he don't have all the belts, just think about it that way. Just think about it. How much work will it be for Haney to stay at that division if Teofimo dropped one of his belts? And let's just say Haney defeated Teofimo Lopez. Do you really want the franchise belt or do you want to keep the WBC belt? That's the decision he's going to have to make. Are you going to keep your belt and not request a franchise belt? I think when it comes down to it, where does the franchise belt go? Mauricio Sulaiman is going to have to void it out. Because Lomachenko, he's not the franchise no more. Because the little transcript that was made was transferable to the winner because Teofimo Lopez requested it. So how does this motherfucking kaleidoscope comes into full view? The only way it comes into full view if Devin Haney don't request a franchise belt. That is the only way that he can be respected in going for that WBO. If by chance the WBO is the only thing that's out there left, right? But this is the third layer. Mauricio Sulaiman's intention is to continue the growth of the franchise belt. That is his entire intention. He did not start off. See, Team Haney, they can fuck shit up if they wanted to. They could present something different to Mauricio Sulaiman behind the scenes and say, listen, if we fight Teofimo Lopez, we don't want the franchise belt. I want to keep my belt. And then Sulaiman's probably going to say, well, who's going to be the franchise? See, no one to be the franchise champion. Potentially, Team Haney could possibly do away and abolish the franchise belt. But it's not going to happen because Mauricio Sulaiman wants to continue cultivating that belt. If the belt isn't transferable, Teofimo should not be the franchise belt holder anymore if he loses. He shouldn't. But if Team Haney does not request it and say, nope, I want to keep my belt and I want the other belts. I want the WBA and the IBF, and I plan on fighting for the WBO so I can be legitimate, as they call it, a legitimate undisputed title holder. Then that's going to be a problem with Mauricio Sulaiman because now no one is in ownership. So he's going to have to come up with another inclusion to say, you know what? Since Team Haney don't want to request the franchise belt, we're going to allow Teofimo Lopez to remain the franchise champion. You know what I'm saying? How is that shit going to work? That shit's not going to work. Because that's one way to abolish that shit forever. If Mauricio Sulaiman say it's non-transferable. I mean, put it this way. Not non-transferable, but just like Lomachenko, when he lost, he's not the franchise belt holder anymore. That's only because Teo requested. So when it comes down to Team Haney, if they say, okay, we're going to finally fight, we're not requesting the franchise belt. And let's just say he wins. Guess what? The franchise belt is gone. Unless Mauricio says Teofimo Lopez remains franchise belt because Team Haney does not want to request it. Black or white, they still have to fight. But all at the same time, who wants to lose to Devin in a fight defense like Lopez? They could have chose someone else or made him fight someone for it. They showed him a little love. They could have chose someone else or made him fight someone for it. You talking about the franchise, possibly? Who would want to fight for the franchise? They'll totally fuck up every type of structure that Mauricio Sulaiman has. Nobody wants to fight Devin because they would lose. I don't know what nobody is, Andrew, and salute for pulling up. I don't know who nobody is. You know, speak clear. You know, I'm not gonna freaking bite on this shit that's not clear. Don't ask me truth to facts when what you put in there don't have any type of clarification. Nobody. Who is nobody? I need the nobody to be somebody. Aaron Jones, World Combat Sports, kills me as the Devin Haney fans fail to realize. Let me put it up here. Fail to realize that once Bill and Devin is in a position to call the shots, they're going to act like they saying Teo's acting for Ryan. I mean, if they was in a position right here, if they was in the position, I said this before, if anyone was in the position, I'm talking about whether it be Team Haney, Ryan Garcia, You know what I'm saying? Gervonta Davis. We know Gervonta Davis. If Gervonta Davis had those 3 belts, there's no way anybody in that division getting close to him. Seriously. I'm talking about his mandatories, yeah. But really, if he did what Teofimo Lopez did and he had all the belts right now, you wouldn't be getting no attention with Gervonta Davis, period. None. So people need to understand what Teofimo is doing is the same thing everybody else should be doing. They will be coming up with many, many ways to say, okay, how can we delay this? Because we want to hold on to these belts. With the belts become paychecks, but also with the belts become sanctioning fees. That's what you have to look at as to why Teofimo Lopez is negotiating the way he is too. It's sanction fees for all those belts. There's sanctioning fees. If he chose to hold on to those belts for a length of time, he has to pay sanctioning fees. So he want to make sure his value is increased each fight, and he continued to basically be that that future cash cow. He's already on the pound for pound list. So what he's doing is very smart. It's very business savvy to negotiate your worth. It is. Don't outprice yourself, but negotiate your worth, though. Ryan Lopez. Well, you have to ask them. The only one that I see, both of them are giving different type of vibes when it come to facing anyone else in the lightweight division. Let's just say Haney, for instance. Haney, when it comes to Ryan Garcia, no, he's not even considering that. That's a lost topic. That's a lost topic. It's even emails out there that Ryan's team say they are not facing Devin Haney. So let's exclude that. Keep that out the picture. And if you're talking about Lopez walking around with a duck on his head, man, that's just antagonizing the people who want him to do what they want. He's going to do what Teofimo Lopez wants to do. He go around here and be a clown, go to Disney World. Oh, man, just goddamn play with the fans, man. That's all he's doing. How can someone go through and complete what he's been able to complete, but yet all of a sudden he's supposed to meet the demands of those who haven't did it? You feel me? Like, how does that work? It doesn't. These fighters play that I fight anybody. I want all the smoke until it's in the top position. You ain't never lied on that, dog. You never lied. You never lied on that, man. Everybody say, I want all the smoke. Give me all the smoke. Give me that shit. Nah, because at the end of the day, and when the sun rises, goddammit, boxing is all about business. And as we seen, look, the worst thing, I'm going to tell you what you'll never see on World Combat Sports, right? You'll never see me out here trying to make a fight. Like, when I say make a fight, I'm talking about having promoters on here trying to, no, it's not going to happen. Because I can sit up here for 3 hours straight and listen to two people go back and forth. I'm not trying to make a fight, man. That's up to them. I just want to talk about combat sports. I'm not going to be up here trying to make no damn fight. And then, look, just like they saying all the shit that was going on with Javier Fortuna and shit. But then Eddie Hearns come out to my, we're not facing Javier Fortuna. We're going for Jorge Linares. I mean, come on. You give the fans all this hoopla, act like the damn two people are talking, but yeah, ain't nothing coming from it, man. It's done. It's dead. But just pay close attention to what I said with the situation. Pay close attention to what I said about that franchise belt. That is the only way that shit can be shut down and moot. It can be a moot point only if Mauricio Suleiman doesn't sustain Teofimo Lopez as being franchise champion. That's if he loses. I'm just giving hypotheticals. You know what I'm saying? If Team Haney does not request the belt and they want to stick to a standard and say, well, we're gonna try to go for the WBO title and become the legitimized. Well, and guess what? Mauricio come up with some other revision and say, well, we're gonna keep Teofimo Lopez as the franchise champion. sort of it's gonna be in the same predicament, except you're gonna have a couple more belts. But if by chance Mauricio Suleiman, being as smart as he is, he's not gonna allow that belt to go to waste. He's not gonna just allow no one to be franchise champion, because he will have to come up with something else on how to put it back out there, how to present it to another fight. And the big names at that point in time will be Lopez and Haney. Unless Haney fights somebody else, and then he put that in there. But at the end of the day, that's far-fetched. I was just giving you scenarios. Like, I hold true to what I say. I don't think Devin Haney beats Teofimo Lopez. That's just me. I stay hold on my square, and that's what it is. And anybody have an issue with it, make sure you come over here with the fight made and put your money where your mouth is if you got confidence. Keep bringing up my batting average. You know what I'm saying? I bet it on Teofimo Lopez. I bet it on Oscar Valdez. Whoever's next is next. Cool. But I'm not going to change that tune, man. That's just how I feel. I don't say my mind is over here, but my heart is over there. My heart is over here, but my mind is over there. No, my heart and mind is where I pick, period. Unfortunately, that's boxing. If I'm at the top, you got to bring something to the table to get a fight. Teofimo putting on to get that Loma fight. I agree with you on that. And why are you saying it? And many other people are saying that same thing. But yet World Combat Sports said, and you know, people want to hop on here and act like it's something different that they never heard. I mean, why? That's just the fact. That's just the fact of the matter. No one can tell me that Team Haney would not be making those demands if they was in T.O.'s position. If they had all the belts and T.O. had that WBC, they say, man, that belt don't mean shit. We have all the belts. That belt don't mean shit. But the unfortunate part about in hindsight is that we don't have a system that we can hook and unhook and rewind and bring that which have already passed back to the current state. We don't have that ability like the Matrix. You know what I'm saying? We just don't have that ability. So we have to take what happened and where we at right now and potentially where it's going. That's the only thing we can do with this shit. That's it. That's the only thing we can do. And right now, Team Lopez is going to keep those belts as long as they possibly can. They're going to fight who they fight. And people need to understand that. People need to understand. Don't start ignoring resumes right now. Stay focused on resumes like you do all the time. World Combat Sports, right? I'm just tired of hearing all about this boogeyman talk. Boogeyman don't get big fights, from what I see. Boogeyman, who is a boogeyman? Who is a boogeyman? Who's a boogeyman? You talking about Javier, or you talking about Errol Spence? It's only two people. Javier just came on and said that, you know, he was a boogeyman and all that. That's who you talking about? I'm not sure. Mitch say, no, I was just saying they knew they would never fight in Loma. Why would Bob Arum make a fight when he got Teofimo in his stable? Shaking my head. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. See, every time I was getting on here, like many others, and you know, making a point that there was no mandatory for Lomachenko. I showed the video several times over. You know what I'm saying? Mauricio said himself that nothing was mandated. There's no mandatory, but yet you hear the same people talking about he ducked. He didn't want to fight. No, I mean, if you didn't look, if Mauricio said, I'm not forcing Lomachenko to have a mandatory, then what else is there to say? Stop grasping for motherfucking rose bushes and shit with bare hands, goddammit, because you gonna feel the pain. Stop doing that shit. Stop sitting up here making yourself bleed for no reason. Mauricio said he wasn't going to damn force Lomachenko to do anything. So how can anything else be said that, oh, so and so was just mandatory and he ducked? No, when the short time that freaking Vasyl Lomachenko won that belt, Mauricio said, nope, I'm not forcing Lomachenko. I'm not gonna abuse it. That's what he said. Gary Russell versus Devin Haney was a whole mess, man. It was absolute mess, man. Aaron, you ain't never lied, bro. Listen, that shit right there. Listen, the energy and the time that people lost of their lives on this YTC shit convinces me once again that there's no such thing as YTBC. Because when it comes down to that right there, it proves it's not. Because after everything back and forth, none of the dates was changed. None of them. None of the dates was changed. And Haney kept his date with Gamboa, and Gary went and did what he had to do. Nothing. Hours upon hours upon hours upon hours of big back and forth. You know, sign this, you say that. It just made YouTube look like an absolute circus. It was so much put into that, weeks after weeks after weeks, and the fight didn't get made. Unfucking believable. Valentine in the building, salute to you. Bet money on Devin over Lopez. I'm not, I'm not doing this for play, Andrew. You know, you seem like a Devin Haney fan. That's cool, but I ain't doing it for play, bro. The fight's not even close to being made right now. So, you make sure you stay close. All right, make sure you stay close, and you're gonna have to then come off that money, not before the fight. We got to come off the money before the fight. Period. So a lot of people always talking about this money stuff and betting, but no, you're not sure, Andrew. You're not sure of that. You just on here on a ghost account trying to put his name out there, but you're not sure. I'm sure. I'm confident. No ifs, ands, no hesitation. I'm not playing this ghost account shit. Aaron said, no, Devin and Bill say they're a boogeyman of 135. That's what I got to say about that, please. I agree 100, bro. All bull crap. Man, people have been talking about this shit forever and a day. The fight's nowhere close to being made like Errol Spence and Bud Crawford, but the potential is there. Believe that. The potential is there to be made. Why? Because of where the belts are at right now. All right? Teofimo has the belts. He's the undisputed king right now. And people are gonna have to understand what the scripture is talking. You got to read the scripture because Mauricio Suleiman has no problem changing the scripture. So with that being said, it's gonna come down to after the Kambosos fight, assuming everything goes right with Teofimo Lopez, then it comes full circle as to where they're at. Mark my words. Mark my words, people. That when the Lopezes go into a negotiation with Haney, mark my words. If you want the fight, you should be able to want the fight. Don't make it about money when you're still looking at the one with all the titles. Because what I'm hearing with Errol Spence, he has the other titles. He deserves 50. He deserves 60-40. He deserves 70-30. All this other shit, right? But keep the same energy when it comes to Teofimo Lopez. That's all I'm saying. Don't come up here talking this 50-50 bullshit. Don't do it. Don't price yourself out of a fight you've been requesting and your people been requesting. Don't do it. Don't talk yourself out of it. Keep that shit balanced. That's all I'm saying. I want to see the fight myself. I hope it's near the end of the year because Christmas money, free Christmas money, that's good money, man. And then coming out this pandemic, there's going to be a whole lot of shit on sale. And, this is going to be a different year. New president, with the stimulus coming in, combine the stimulus with the money I earn on this Lopez fight. It's gonna be absolutely, man. Yes. So stay close there, Andrew. Stay close, and we'll make that happen. Don't come in under a different name, and then all of a sudden I don't see Andrew no more, man. Please stop. Stop capping. The whole point of that fight being made was the fact that Devin said he had the 2 million for Gary, and nobody questioned that all of a sudden. Well, peep this out. You know, they didn't have the 2 million because Gary was asking Gary. They were saying that it was too much. You know what I'm saying? Gary was basically saying it was personal with Crawford. It was personal with Crawford. That's why he'd fight Crawford for that amount of money. But for Devin Haney, it was much more business orientated and a lot of vision. That's why he wanted more money. And then he said, okay, I'll drop down to this. He dropped down, he reduced the amount. And then they tried to make it seem like, okay, the fight was closer to being made, and it wasn't. Then he go from 2 to 1.5 or something like that. Then he go from 2 to 1.5. Something to that nature. It's been so much in between that. But yeah, Haney is being avoided. I disagree with the narrative that Haney doesn't deserve a shot at Teal. I think eventually Teal will fight Haney. Right now, only Linares wants to fight him. Linares ain't trying. Look, Linares is not one to fight anything. They're putting Linares' name in there as an opponent that has all those fights and as a veteran in the sport. He's not wanting to do anything except do what he's trained to do all his life, and that's go into a boxing match and fight. He's not wanting to do anything with Haney. You think Haney has more power than Vasyl Lomachenko? In my opinion, no. So for Linares to want to get in the picture and get a paycheck, okay, cool. I said what I had to say on the resumes. Everybody else uses the resumes, but I get called a bitch ass nigga because I'm using the resumes. If the resume is what it is and it's subpar, then if a person who's did more on their side to get to the pot of gold, you should place that in recognition that they did it better. A lot of other people use the deserve. A lot of other people use that shit. But a fight is a fight. If he has one other belt, let's go. Any fight I support, I don't sit up here and say I want them to fight the easiest fights to get recognition. No, even with Teofimo Lopez, fight the fight. Seriously, fight that fight. Because I'm confident. Fight the fight. I'm confident, man. I told Bill, bet your money. Bet your money, Bill. The offer's still open. All that other shit don't have nothing to do with it. But you want to bet money, when that fight comes up, do it. I'm not betting you. Don't come in here talking about I'm betting a whole truckload of motherfucking money. We ain't doing that. But you want to bet some money on that fight? If it's ever made, cool. The bet's still open. The bet is still open. He won decision. Lopez, it was a close fight. He won by decision. Lopez, it was close. Yeah, it was a close fight, but he got it done, though, Andrew. I mean, he got it done. You know, they always say a win is a win, isn't it? The performance Roy Jones put on in the Olympics, and they robbed him. Did they consider it a win? Yes. Adrian Broner, Giovanni Santiago. Did he win? Yes. Was it controversial to a lot of people? And you know, a little bit, you know what I'm saying, left a bitter taste in their mouth? Yeah. Especially when you have a score that's 117 to 110. A win is a win. Think about the Pacquiao and Timothy Bradley fight. He won, right? But he called hell over that shit. He called hell over it. Just because a fighter win by decision doesn't mean it was any less of an effort. Like some people win by decision, it's a robbery. Others win by decision in a tough fight like Teofimo Lopez, and people want to say, well, he barely won. He won. He said, I don't like it, but I understand Teo looking at the bunch like, now y'all do something. Linares had a little call out of Haney on Twitter. Yeah, they forcing Linares to call out. Look, go back and see who Linares really talks shit to on Twitter. They're forcing him to call out and try to divert the attention to Linares and off Javier Fortuna. They're doing that, man. Seriously. They're telling Linares, just send out a tweet, please. George, Jorge, however you want to be addressed. Let's just start, make little shots at Devin Haney right now so you can make this fight. Now, once again, since we're on the subject, I wasn't trying to make it about that, but Teofimo Lopez did it better than everybody else. He got the titles. He did it. He beat the top pound for pound guy. He got the titles. If you don't have a top pound for pound on your resume, you shout. If you don't have someone that was ranked higher than Comey, you shout. If you don't have somebody on your resume ranked higher than Nakatani, you shout. That's three times you came up shout. So since you came out, shout, shouty. Don't try to act like you standing at the top. It don't work like that. That goes for everybody. Ryan Garcia especially. Mr. Capion. Tony Harrison and the twin. Look, whatever you're talking about, Tony Harrison, the twin, like, check this out. Like, Tony Harrison boxed superbly in the first fight with Jermell Charlo. I mean, he was doing a beautiful job of the sweet science. Real talk. I had to commend him on the way he looked. A lot of people say he won. Some people say he lost. But at the end of the day, he won. But make no mistake about it, when you don't leave it in the hand of the judges and Jermell Charlo come back on the hunt like he was, look, his eyes was just goddamn stoic, gleaming. No, not gleaming, glowering, menacing. Jermell Charlo was there to motherfucking eat. Jermell Charlo said, I'm coming back out this motherfucker with a head. I'm taking his head tonight, goddammit. I ain't fucking around. Tony Harris, I knew in those exchanges, when he got knocked down, I said, man, he's done. Jermell Charlo, man, he was on the motherfucking kill. He was in the kill zone that night. He wasn't leaving until he get that. And that's what he did. I respect Jermell for coming back getting his title. For a while, Jermell was quiet. Jermell shedded a tear after he lost his title. He was quiet. But now that he got that one on his record, I think he's just going to be a lot more, hey, little shit I used to worry about, I don't no more. And having that on my record is one of them. Loma fought scared for 6 rounds straight. I ain't trying to hear that shit. Well, put it like this, Mitch. So are you rubbing Lomachenko's back because he started off, slow? Does he get a 6-round motherfucking back rub because he was in the biggest fight of his career and he chose to come out and just take his time because he was scared, because he was apprehensive on what he was supposed to do? He was frightful. He lacked courage. He wasn't beaming with confidence. We supposed to go there and say, well, since it's Lomachenko, we have to give him an excuse. Half of the fight he didn't fight. Whose fault is that? Because Teofimo Lopez fought the whole fight. He even fought the 8th through the 11th when Lomachenko was coming on. That shoulder looked fine to me. When he started pouring it on, I said, okay, let's go, Teo. This is what we work for. Teo, let's get it. Get out the fire. You in that motherfucker right now. Fight out the motherfucking fire. Get out the furnace. Let's go. Put the fire out. That's what he did. He locked it down in the 12th round. We can't continue to say, damn, Lomachenko, man, he didn't fight for 6 rounds. Whose fault is that? It is his own freaking fault, people. You're talking about a guy who only had one other loss from Salido, right? And people was like looking at that like, that don't really count. ESPN tried to erase the shit. He's high tech. He's the best. But check this out though. Why wasn't you high tech in there with Teofimo Lopez, bro? That was your time to shine. Teofimo Lopez shined that night. He got the job done. Know that. Aaron say, I feel Devin as a fighter. Let me see. I guess you're saying you fuck with Devin as a fighter, but outside of that, people get touchy when talking about Devin Haney resume or anything about him, but don't say Gamboa is one-legged or old, but I fight him in your next fight. True summary there, Aaron. That makes sense because I look at it like this. Aaron and everybody else, check this out. And let me attempt to articulate this with as lucid as I can, right? When Gamboa was in there with Gervonta Davis, even in this YTC shit, they was criticizing the fuck out of it because I guess him being in the same division, people didn't want to show Gervonta any love or respect, right? So he went in there with Gamboa, and they talking about the man was old, decrepit, and all the other shit, been knocked out I don't know how many times. So listen, if World Combat Sports is in that position, you know what I'm saying? And I'm saying to myself, like, man, I'm talking mad shit about this guy. Because I'm talking that shit because I don't plan on fighting him. So I'm saying, okay, they ain't gonna never fight Gamboa then. Fuck it. Because they don't talk mad shit about Gamboa and then turn back around. Damn near a year later, Gamboa is getting a fight in November. And he goes the entire 12 round. I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm tired of talking about it. Y'all know what it is. I'm tired of talking about it. If you're dogging the man out, then you're supposed to go in there and destroy this motherfucker. Leave no questions. But that's not the case. I'm just saying, compare the T.O. shit to Devin's, there's still some work to be done. And that work isn't with Jorge Linares, who's been stopped, TKO'd, most in the first round, all his losses, bro. How are you gonna look? Somebody explain to me. Please explain to me. How do I supposed to source knowledge? I mean, not source knowledge, source any type of logic and trying to examine something for it to make sense, not only to me, but to my listeners too. When I'm saying this, if you don't identify Teofimo's record or his execution as legitimate and you respect him for it, but yet you said, okay, since I'm a Devin Haney fan, I'm going to implode. How is, only certain smoke good smoke? Because if certain people say they all about this, that, and the other, then guess what? You will understand the criticism isn't just coming from one chimney. It's a criticism for coming everywhere about his resume, from the mainstream platforms to the lower stream platforms in the YTC. So get mad at somebody else. Get mad at George Zimmerman. Because I remember when he was going in about some shit and people was talking, oh, he's going to die tomorrow. He's going to die. George Zimmerman's still walking around, chilling. Don't throw around threats off a freaking boxing critique. They need to do more, period. He needs to do more. Jorge Linares ain't it. I'm going to be honest. But King Mitch, nah, man, don't come in here with a damn. Don't come over here with a back rub and shit, trying to stroke damn Lomachenko's damn ego and have him feeling like, yeah, you know what, Mitch? You're right, man. I appreciate you sticking up for me on the live chat, Mitch. I appreciate you. Hey, be sure to stop by this place. I'm going to give you an autographed boxing glove because I appreciate you taking up for me and advocating for what really went down in there. I'm High Tech Vasyl Lomachenko signing out. Valentine, salute. Appreciate your donation, my brother. Why are they ducking Fortuna? Okay. Not exactly. They're not ducking Fortuna. It's just with the promotion, I wouldn't say Team Haney's ducking Javier Fortuna. It's just, when it comes down to it, people don't want to hear the potential truth in anything. You know what I'm saying? Like Javier Fortuna has been in situations where he's supposed to have been in a fight, but due to, like his Samson said today, due to an injury with Devin, the fight didn't happen, and then COVID hit and all this other shit. It's just so much to spread. It's so much to pack on, right? Javier Fortuna the other day popped on the Boxing Voice, and I'm thinking the fight's gonna happen just like the Gary Russell and freaking Devin Haney. But then they turned around today, and Ness was asking, so why when y'all brought out the the $50,000, making it seem like the fight was made, Eddie Hearn comes out the next day and say that we're not fighting Javier Fortuna, we're fighting Jorge Linares. And then Ness asked something to the extent like, okay, like, why would you come in here and act like you're making the fight then? Why would you come on and make the fight? And some came out to the extent like the fight, Eddie was already making the fight. So, okay, if he's already making the fight, why come in here and act like you're negotiating to fight Javier Fortuna if Eddie is the one making the decision for Devin to fight Jorge Linares? You never should have came on the Boxing Voice and said, okay, we'll bet the money. The fight is good, but yet you don't know Eddie is already negotiating that fight with Jorge Linares. Eddie Hearns is already negotiating that shit. If he's already negotiating the fight, he's negotiating the fight, period. You can't come on and say, okay, it's a $50,000 check and we're freaking making this fight happen, knowing damn well Eddie Hearns say, no, the fight with Javier is not happening. And I'm going to make a point on that on IG. Boom, he goes on IG and say, well, that shit ain't happening. We're focused on Jorge Linares. But Valentine, appreciate your donation. He said, why are they ducking Fortuna? You know my take on Fortuna. I don't give a damn he trying to fight Devin Haney or not. I can care less. Why? Because I seen him quit before. I'm not saying he don't have himself back, but I seen him quit before, man. You know what I'm saying? So hey, give me a little bit of time to get over that. Valentine, he a tough, rugged fighter, and Haney is a pure boxer, so styles make fights. He might lose. It'd be a good fight between him and Javier, according to what Javier shows up. We get that Robert Easter, Javier, we good. We get that Robert Easter, Javier, good. We good, shawty. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That was a tough inside fight. I think Fortuna ducked Haney already. I'm open for more info on that subject, though. Now, I don't think he ducked him, man. The time, Samson said the time they pulled out was when Haney's shoulder was hurt or something like that. But really, I don't even think that fight is happening anytime soon. No, I'm not giving Loman excuses. He was shook. No credit for being scared. And I'm making the fight close at the end. Yeah, the fight would have been close if he would have dominated that 12th round. It would have been something different. I'm not going to lie to you. It would have been something different. And we potentially could have been having a different conversation. I must say, it's his own fault. He misjudged the situation. That was low tech. For real, he was running on low tech, man. Pete Davenport in the building. Salute to you, my brother. Thank you for your donations. Real talk. Peace, good brother. Didn't get the notification. I'm about to play back the video. Keep up good work. Thank you, my brother. Appreciate you pulling up and supporting the channel. One team, one fight. Aaron Jones, King Match. Think about it every day saying that Ryan is ducking Haney. King Mitch, think about it every day saying that Ryan is ducking Haney because he's the mandatory. But Javier Fortuna has been Devin Haney mandatory for a while. Well, that shit with Javier Fortuna being a mandatory, this, that, and the other. It's a difference between being number one contender and the mandatory, okay? It's a difference between being number one contender and the mandatory, man. Facts. I feel the same about the Gamboa and the Haney BS. I already thought about it. For Tuna ducked the man, I really don't throw ducking around like that. Okay, you want to say he ducked the cool. I can't really go deep into that. I'm not giving Javier that love right now. Fortuna and Ryan should be looking to get the strap from Devin Haney, but for whatever reason, they not. At least Ryan chasing the big fish. Man, get the fuck, man. What you talking about? Ryan taking the big fish. What big fish? He must be looking at minnow through a magnifying glass. Oh, check this out. I saw a bluefin goddamn tuna. Look through this magnifying glass. Ryan, that's a minnow. Oh, it looks big through the glass, though. Man, what big fish is Ryan looking for? Manny Pacquiao? What? He need to fight within his division. Stop getting his attorneys involved and taking him out of fights that he should be fighting, though. Hey, and before I bounce people, I will stay on here forever and a day, right? But check this out. Let me put this up here so y'all can see it. For those of you saying, check this out, though. I want you to check this out for me. So tomorrow, I know it's early for a lot of you all, but I will be speaking with the one and only Giovanni Santiago. The reason why I want to speak to him, because it's boxing media, and he just stepped out the ring with Adrian Broner. I'm interviewing him. It's going to be his first interview since his fight. And I just want to talk to him about the situation, man. How did he feel in there? How did Broner's punches feel? What was his assessment of his performance? And then, him coming off to face someone, a 4 division champion like Adrian Broner. Do he feel that was it? That he get that 4 division? Is Broner a harder puncher at any time? Like one time Broner hit him, is almost like, his glove might have came close to touching the ground, but it then, for somebody who's supposed to be the underdog, he came in there and fought, man. And I'll be honest, I thought Giovanni Santiago won that fight. But Puerto Rican fighter, man, I'm going to be talking to him bright and early, 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. All right? He's in Puerto Rico right now. Be sure to tune in, y'all. I need max participation. When I get these fighters straight off a fight like this, it's good to get max participation, man. Show love to the fighters. Giovanni's going to be back real soon because based off his performance, a lot of people are looking at it like he did very well. He just didn't come in there and lay down. They thought he fought very well. And, I got the punch stats, all that shit. Ryan and Fortuna are entitled a shot at the world title, yet we're hearing about them possibly fighting each other. Valentine said Fortuna quit against Granados. You must have been on one of my lives because I have not yet to get reimbursed for my travel, my expenses, the food I spent that night, only to see him quit. Because I was at the fight. Ryan looking for Tank and Pac-Man. Nobody else according to him. Man, all Ryan Garcia is doing is just looking to cap. Tonight, tomorrow morning, afternoon, evening, and repeat. That's what he's doing. Ryan is Mr. Capper. Ooh, he's capion. That's what he's doing. Period. That's exactly what Ryan doing. But I'm gonna be back on here in the morning, and I invite everyone to tune in, tomorrow, so I can speak with Giovanni Santiago about his fight with Adrian Broner. I'm definitely trying to pick up some of these fights after they happen. And I'm still working with a partner of mine so we can kind of see what's going on with the Trevor Bryant, who is going to be, pulling up and getting behind the media real soon. So I'm working with a good friend of mine to try to get an interview with Trevor Bryant in person, not online, in person. We'll see how that works out. Shout out to Team Williams Jr., who's going in there to fight next week. You know what I'm saying? Going for his 16th victory. He's contending for a 16th victory. And Carlos Jackson. Carlos Jackson is down in the A. He will be contending this weekend in the main event. And also, Maybach Hot, man. Salute to the OG. He's going to be on his own fight card. Who else? Trayvon Lawson. Salute to him. He's definitely going to be in the ring this weekend. Felipe Boxing Gym. Salute. Support him heavy out there. Pay attention, man. There's a lot of boxing going down here in the A. I mean, they're really trying to build up this regional scene down here. So, just give it some thought, man. Pay attention to the close lives. There's gonna be some lives going on with this, but this is not gonna be amateur. This is gonna be professional fights. Money Power is gonna be in there. You know what I'm saying? Stay on tap for the Lopez brother. You know what I'm saying? K Champ, Najee, Hakeem. Stay close to them. They're going to be coming back on the scene in next month, man. Brian Norman Jr., the one that sparred Tank, 2 days, 2 out of 3 days. They're really putting in great work. A lot of people got mad about that. They act like I wasn't supposed to speak on it or like I was telling some lies and shit. Listen, I get tired of black trainers and black fighters getting mad at shit that happened. And this is the reason why I say that is because if you put out training that you killing and getting off on another fighter and they on wobbly legs, so what the fuck am I doing? I'm telling the truth that look, you didn't record, so I can speak what I seen. You trying to tell me I couldn't record and take pictures, and now I can't speak on it? Shit, you didn't record for a reason because it's gonna be a tough motherfucking sparring session. Did I once say that Tank didn't do shit? No. But don't sit up here trying to act like certain people telling you one-sided stories. The trainer was what it was. It was legendary, man. Shout out to Brian Norman Jr., the assassin, and his pops. They do the Step on Showbox next month. And it's going to be on once again. Future world champ. Let's get it in, man. Let's get it in. Stay close. And for Deontay Wilder, the Bronze Bomber, you know what it is, man. We just waiting for you to return back to the battlefront so we can link up, you know what I'm saying, and find out what the tactic's going to be. Who's going to be your next fight? It don't matter. If you want to go in there, Andy Ruiz, do that. If you want to go knock out Dillian White again, cool. Do that. Do that. I hope freaking Herkovic, I heard Herkovic is going to be fighting Michael Hunter now. Robotic ass Herkovic. Michael Hunter has really good success with bigger, taller fighters, especially a robot like Herkovic. I really want to get I'm looking forward to Herkovic stepping in there with a top name, and Michael Hunter, that'll be the name. That'll be the name for him to do it. That would be the name, y'all. Ryan withhold De La Hoya's feet to the fire. Man, something happened with that. But y'all be patient. And this is what I need for y'all to do, man, is pass the word and sub, man. Support the channel with your donations to the Cash App over there, capital W CS Sports. Going to these fights, man, they are not cheap and they are time consuming. So I appreciate all the donations that I do get. Believe me, the one thing I do is keep a running tab on who's in here. And one thing I'm gonna do this year, Christmas wise, I'm gonna definitely take care of my people. Period. Definitely, I'm gonna take care of them in here because the ones I see that's pulling up, I know them all by heart. That's how small my live chat is. I know them all by heart, which is gonna be good. This is gonna be good because this Christmas is gonna be different. It's gonna be different. So until tomorrow morning, man. Hey, check this out. Till tomorrow morning, y'all stay close. Tune in and show your support. World Combat Sports. I'm out.
What up? It's your boy Ruiz Jr. and right now you tune into World Combat Sports.